Hello and welcome to this lecture, and in this lecture we are going to learn how you could perform some sort of arithmetic operations on series and data frame. Now during data analysis using Python or pandas, what we essentially want to do is that we want to perform a bunch of operations, and that operation also includes the arithmetic operation. So let's say you have two data frames, and let's assume you want to add two data frames, or let's say you want to add two series. So that operation is nothing but it's actually called as the arithmetic operations between two series or two data frames. So in this lecture we will learn exactly the same, that is how to do or how to perform an addition operation between series and between two data frames. So let's first directly go ahead and create two series. So let's first import a series from pandas. So from pandas import series, and let's first create our first series, which is going to be called as series 1. So series 1 is going to be equal to series, and in here in brackets, inside square brackets, let's specify the first series as, let's say, 1 2 3 4 and 5. So once we have the series, let's go ahead and create our second series, and let's name it as series 2, and that's going to be equal to series, and in here let's specify some random digits like 100, 200, 300, 400 and 500. Now the arithmetic operation between these two series is actually going to add up each and every element of series 1 to each and every element of series 2. Now as you could see, there are actually 5 elements in series 1 and 5 in series 2, so it's actually quite simple that each and every element is going to be added. That is, 1 is going to be added with 100 as they have same index, 2 is going to be added with 200 as they have the same index, so on and so forth. But what if the elements inside the series 2 actually extend the elements inside series 1? So that's actually going to be an interesting case wherein we go ahead and have elements which are not equal in both of the series. So let's specify a few more elements, like let's say 600 over here. But even before that, let's simply perform this addition and let's see what happens. So if you type in series 1 plus series 2 and make sure to have space over here, it's actually okay if you don't. So when you run this code, as you could see, you get the result as 101, 202, 303 and 505. That is simply these two series getting added together depending on their index. So each similar index value is going to be added up when you perform arithmetic operation addition on two series. Now let's go ahead and try to modify this thing a little bit. That is, we are going to go ahead and we are actually going to add another digit over here. So that's going to be 600. So when you execute this thing again, as you could see, the final element, which is at index position 5, which is actually the sixth element of addition, is going to be displayed as NaN. And I actually didn't explain the meaning of NaN. NaN actually means not a number. So whenever you try to add one series with another and one element is left alone, that is, if the index value of one of the series does not have a match in the first series, then it's actually going to display you NaN. So that's the main issue with the series. So whenever you actually go ahead and add up two series, it's quite simple. It's actually going to look for the similar index, add them up, and whenever it does not find a relevant index in one of the series, it's simply going to display NaN, which means not a number. So that's how you basically go ahead and perform arithmetic on a particular series. Now let's learn how we could perform arithmetic operation on a particular data frame. So let's go ahead and create a data frame. So let's first type in from pandas import, that's going to be data frame. So once data frame is imported, let's go ahead and create a data structure for data frame. So that's going to be called as data1. So data1 is actually going to be equal to and let's say here we are saving some kind of weather data. So let's specify a parameter as speed. So after speed, in speed we are going to have a few elements, let's say 100, 103 and 105. And after that we are actually going to specify the temperature as well. So that's going to be temp, and in here we will specify temperature as, let's say, 34, 23, 42. So once you have these two things set up, we are almost good to go. And make sure that this quotation ends over here, and instead we have a comma over here. So once we have this thing set up, the next thing which we do is that we go ahead and create a data frame from this data structure. So we will type in, let's say, frame 1, that is going to be equal to data frame, and to this data frame let's pass in data 1. And then let's finally display the frame as well, so as to have a look how this frame actually looks like. So this is basically the data frame creation. So if you execute this code, as you could see, we have our data frame number 1 over here. Now what you could do is that you could simply copy the same code to create your data frame 2, which is going to be added to the data frame 1. So we will post it over here, and everything is going to be similar except a few things. The speed is going to be 101, 109, that's going to be 106. Let's say the temperature is going to be same, and we are actually going to add one more parameter over here, and that's going to be humidity. And the humidity values are going to be, let's say it's measured in some kind of weird unit. So let's say 45, 23, 58. So once we have these values set up, we are almost good to go. And only thing which you need to do is that you need to type in this equals data 2. This is going to be frame 2, and this is actually going to be data 2, and finally frame 2. So when you execute this code, as you could see, your data frame number 2 is ready as well. Now the only thing which we need to do is that we need to add these two things up. So let's type in frame 1, which is the data frame 1. So frame 1 plus, that's going to be frame 2. And when you add these things up, as you could see, the speed and temperature are added quite well. That is, if you have a look over here, speed is 100 plus 101, that gives you 201. The temperature 34 plus 34 gives you 68, and everything like that. But as you could notice, as this data frame, which is data frame number 1, does not have the humidity column, but this actually does. Hence we get the result as humidity column as NaN, which stands for not a number. So whatever happens with the series happens with the data frame as well. So the data frame actually has to match two values when it performs the arithmetic addition. That is, it looks for the column, which is, let's say, temperature. It looks for the index, which is 1. So it looks for the similar indexes in the next data frame. So it looks at the temperature column, it looks at the index column, and it basically adds the value present at that particular location. So 23 is going to be added to 23, which gives us the result as 46. And when it actually does not find a particular match, so for example, in this data frame right here, at humidity 1 we have 23, but this data frame does not have the humidity column at all. Hence, when it does not find a match, it's going to return us NaN. So that's how you could basically go ahead and add series and data frames. So in this lecture, we have learned how to perform basic arithmetic operations, and in the next lecture, we are going to jump into a little bit more complicated stuff, that is how to perform operations between a data frame and a series. So instead of adding a series with a series or a data frame with a data frame, in the next lecture, we will learn how to add a data frame to a series and vice versa. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.